Don't forget, President Kennedy's speech today has been billed as a major address. KLIF News, of course, will be bringing you excerpts of that speech throughout the afternoon, okay? Mighty fine. Away we go on the Rex Jones Show.
KLIF bulletin. From Dallas, 3 shots reportedly were fired at the motorcade of President Kennedy today near the downtown section. KLIF News is checking out the report. We will have further reports. Stay tuned.
I remember feeling like, wow, I can't believe somebody that I saw live is now been hit, been shot.
The president, his body cradled in the arms of Mrs. Kennedy, has been rushed to Parkland Hospital. We are still awaiting word from Parkland the extent of the president's injury.
I was in the 7th grade. I was 13 years old. And we were told that school would be getting out early and that the president had been shot. And our parents met us at the school bus. And I went home, and we were a family of real Kennedy lovers. My mother absolutely adored the president. So our entire weekend was just sitting in front of the TV and crying. Because in our family we loved the president so much and followed everything and adored the family. We were a broken-hearted family, just like so many people in the country and the world.
At Parkland Hospital, the top surgical specialists have arrived. A Roman Catholic priest has arrived, and a few moments ago, a special shipment of blood was brought in by 2 Dallas police officers.
In November of 1963, I was a junior in high school at Dennis Yarmouth Regional High School, and at 2 o'clock, we were released for the day. And I can remember at the bus port to the rear of DY High School, we were just boarding the buses when the announcement came over the public address system that the president had been shot. And I don't know at that point whether we knew that he had been killed or not, but it was the end of the day and everybody was rushing out of the school to get home so they could see something on television or in the media.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States is dead. The new President of the United States by succession is Vice President Lyndon Johnson.
I remember thinking how suddenly fragile life really could be. Not that I hadn't been exposed to sadness or death, but how the vibrancy of not only the man and his family and the village could all of a sudden be minimized, reduced, left empty. I remember a sense of confusion and saying, okay, we're going to have to sort this all out. But it was very unsettling.
I remember very clearly. I was the headmaster of a private school in Stowe, Vermont. And I had 96 hysterical teenagers on my hand. And the whole nation was hysterical. And I don't mean crazy hysterical, I mean racked with sorrow. This man was the most popular president we had ever had. This man was so young. How in the world could he be gone? And the grief, the shock, and these kids, you know, were just beside themselves. Had a very, very interesting incident that I do tell people about, and that is that I actually got involved in an altercation because we were all in shock. Tears were coming down my cheeks, and because at the same time I'm talking to these youngsters and trying to calm them down and get some perspective, the televisions are blaring, seeing the latest horrible news, and suddenly we were all aware of laughter in the back of the room. And it was one of the teachers who was from Holland, from the Netherlands, who couldn't understand, how could we be so devastated? And I went back to him and I said, you've got to stop that, you don't understand. And he started laughing more, and so he and I got into a fight. So I'm not proud of the fight, but but you know, you look back on it and I can understand why. Should I have fought with him in the view of 96 of of the kids. I don't know.
You know, I was aware that the president wanted an open limousine approach to life. He wanted to be able to reach out and touch and be touched. And I think it was his view of the country. I think I became more wary, and I became less trusting. I think the dramatic change just in the atmosphere, the ambience of this village, from an open, happy, embracing of someone that we name, not everybody in the village may have welcomed his politics, but they respected his position and his leadership and were basically for what he represented and for him and his efforts. And all of a sudden, I think everybody's world was shattered. Everybody's world in Hyannisport, the Cape, the United States, maybe even the larger international community. But I think it gave me a shock to maybe accelerating my entry into adult thinking and adult wariness, because I saw an awful lot of adults who couldn't make sense of it.